Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today this is game week 6 of the Champions League predictions. Obviously it's the final group matches with some important games and some that don't really mean a lot. Smash a like, subscribe, let's get into this video. Alright then, so the first game we are kicking it off in Group A as PSG take on Club Brugge. Now obviously looking at the Group A table, obviously PSG, they are already through to the last 16. For Club Brugge, their European place is at stake, because if they practically have to win this game, or if they draw City beat Leipzig, it might be enough. But like for Bruges, they need to draw pending on the City game, or win pending also on the City game. It's a big game for Bruges. Obviously, teammates will be out in a few minutes, obviously because the time now is currently 4:35 and kickoff is at 5:45. So yeah, looking at the probable. Oh, it's actually came out now. Actually, so it's Donnarumma, Hakimi, Diallo, Marquinhos, Mendes. I can't lie, it's a very strong team there from PSG. Let's have a look at Bruges. You got Noah Lang in there, and Mignolet in goal. Noah Lang, I've heard a lot about Noah Lang. He's played 16 matches in the First Division A, which is the Belgium league. He's scored 4 goals, Noah Lang, so that's actually quite good. But last time these two met, it was 1-1 in Belgium. Last time this game was played in Paris, it was 1-0 to PSG, thanks to a goal by Mario Icardi in 2019. But yeah, for me, I think PSG should comfortably win this one. They've got a 100% record against Bruges. Bruges have never beaten PSG, and I think PSG will win this one. PSG 3, Bruges 0, 3-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. Alright then, so the next game is RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. Now obviously Leipzig is a big game for them, as they have to win this game, because it's all about Bruges and Leipzig tonight. City and PSG are already through, so they don't really need to but yeah, for Bruges and Leipzig though, it is big for them. Obviously the team news hasn't came out from the City game yet, but it looks like that Cole Palmer is going to start up front. Obviously for City, I think they're bringing a few academy players today. They might come on. It looks like Cole Palmer is going to start today though for City. Obviously there is actually going to be no fans at this game today, and there will be no fans due to coronavirus cases in the area of Leipzig, or in Leipzig. So obviously there will be no fans. So I don't know, to be fair, but Leipzig, their last game, 2-1 away defeat to Union Berlin. Leipzig, their last Champions League home game, they drew 2-2 with PSG, but that was with fans, and this game doesn't have fans. So also their last actual home game, a 3-1 home defeat to Bayer Leverkusen. And for me, City, I think they will win this one. I'm going to go Leipzig 2, City 3. I think Leipzig will give it a go, but I think City will win. 3-2 to Manchester City. Alright then, so we now move on to the group of death, and we start at the Estadio de Dragão as FC Porto take on Atletico Madrid in a huge night in Group B in the Champions League. Obviously, Liverpool are already through, but Porto, AC Milan and Atletico Madrid, those three, two of them will be in Europe, one of them will join Liverpool in the last 16, and one of them will be playing in the Europa League. Obviously, this is a big game, it's second against fourth in the group. Obviously, Atleti, they lost 2-1 on the weekend to Mallorca. And obviously, Atleti, they have got a few tough games coming up. They've got Porto. They've got 3 tough away games coming up. Porto, Real Madrid, and then they go to Sevilla. So a few tough games coming up for Atleti. Obviously, Atleti, their last Champions League away game, they lost 2-0 away at Liverpool. Porto, their last game at home in the Champions League, was a 1-0 home win against AC Milan. The last two results for Porto: 2-1 home win against Victoria de Guimarães and 3-0 away to Port Imonese. I can't really pronounce it, but yeah, obviously. So 2 wins out of 2 for Porto. Obviously, Atleti in the last 3, they've only got 1 win. That was 4-1 away to Cadiz, whatever. But looking at the probable lineup, I think realistically, I think Porto will be more up for it. I know Atleti will be up for it. It will be quite embarrassing if Atleti don't go through. But for Porto, this is a big opportunity for them. Because they can say, we finished above Atleti, we could go far in this competition. And I've been looking at the predicted lineup. We've got Oliveira in midfield, Otavio, Diaz. And for me, I'm going to back Porto here. Porto 2, Atletico Madrid 1. I'm going 2-1 to Porto. Alright then, so let's talk about the other game in Group B, which comes from the San Siro as AC Milan welcome Liverpool to Milan. Obviously, Liverpool, this game doesn't mean a lot for them. They are already through to the last 16. But obviously, for Milan, it's a big game for them because they need the Porto versus Atletico Madrid result to basically be a draw if Milan want to qualify for the next round of the Champions League. But a win for Porto and a win for Milan will be in the Europa League. But realistically, I think Milan want to be in the Champions League more than the Europa League. So they will be up for it tonight. Liverpool, it looks like they're not going to play their strongest team. I'm looking at their probable lineup, their predicted lineup. It's like they've got Tyler Morton in there, Nico Williams, Tsimikas, Nat Phillips, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Origi. It's not the strongest team from Liverpool, but looking at Milan, it's quite strong. You've got Brahim Diaz, Ibrahimovic, Kesse, Tomori. You've got Ramanganili. But the good thing is for Milan, Mike Maganin is back in goal, which is big for them. And I think he's going to be a key player today. I mean, he's going to, he wants to do well. And I think looking at Liverpool, they won't really be bothered about this game. They're already through. They want to prepare for their next game, which is against Aston Villa, and that's why I am predicting a Liverpool loss. Obviously, Liverpool, they will be the first ever English club to win 6 out of 6 Champions League group stage matches. But I think Liverpool will lose tonight. Don't take it to heart, Liverpool fans. It's just my opinion. I'm going with 2-1 to AC Milan. AC Milan 2, Liverpool 1. 2-1 to the red side of Milan. Alright, and so the next game, it is Ajax versus Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, this group doesn't really mean a lot now. Obviously, Ajax and Sporting are through. Dortmund will be in the Europa League, and Besiktas, they're out of Europe. But, for Ajax, I think for Sporting, they will be up for this, though. Ajax will probably think it's a piece of cake. But I did watch a bit of the Lisbon derby. I think Sporting did alright, and I did watch Sporting's game with Dortmund. And I have to be honest, I think Sporting did very well. And Ajax, I remember watching them against Borussia Dortmund. I think they did well. So I've watched both teams play against Borussia Dortmund, and both Ajax and Sporting did very well. But for me, Ajax, they're just too good at the moment in this competition. And for me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win to Ajax. Ajax 2, Sporting 1, 2-1 to Ajax. Alright then, now we move on to the game at Signal Iduna Park as Borussia Dortmund take on Besiktas. Obviously, this is third against fourth. Besiktas haven't got 1 point yet, and obviously they're out. Dortmund will be playing in the Europa League, and I think one man who won't be too impressed with that is Erling Haaland. Honestly, it is quite disappointing. I don't know if this game's going to be played behind closed doors or not. I don't know, because obviously I think COVID in Dortmund's been quite bad. But, Dortmund, they don't really have to play for much, nor do Besiktas. This will probably be a bit boring, but I'm going to back Dortmund anyway. Dortmund 4, Besiktas 0, 4-0 to Dortmund. Alright, then, so we kick off Group D with a big game today in Madrid, as Real Madrid take on Inter. Obviously, both teams are already through to the knockout stages, but this is the battle to finish first in Group D. Obviously, Real Madrid have a 2-point advantage over Inter. Obviously, last time these two met in Madrid, it was in the 3rd of November 2020. So it was last season. It was 3-2 to Real Madrid, so it was a very good game. But that game was actually at the, I think it was at the, but that last time this game was actually played in the Bernabeu. You have to go to 2013, where it was a 3-0 home win to Real Madrid. Kaká, Cristiano Ronaldo, and an own goal by Ricardo Alvarez. That was the score of that day between Real Madrid and Inter. Obviously, Inter, they've never beaten Real Madrid Inter Milan. So will it happen tonight? Who knows? But one man to keep an eye on is Vinicius Jr. He has been on fire. 16 matches in La Liga, 10 goals and 2 assists. And we're only, 15, 16 matches into the season. It's just incredible. And, I think another player who's done well is Eduardo Camavinga, left Rennes to join Madrid. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord he's gone to Real, because we would be playing him in the Conference League, but good job, he left. He's played 12 matches, he scored 1 goal, and I think he scored on his debut, which was against Celta Vigo. So that's quite good. But, Real Madrid, they are just unbelievable at the moment. They are too good. Inter, though, they're doing all right. They haven't lost since the 16th of October, which was against Lazio. Ever since then, they beat Sheriff, drew to Juventus, beat Empoli, beat Udinese, beat Sheriff, drew to Milan, beat Napoli, beat Shakhtar, beat Venezia, beat Spezia, and obviously beat Roma on the weekend. Obviously, next up for Inter, they play Cagliari, and then obviously their next big game is in the Supercoppa on the 12th of January, where they play Juve, and then on the 16th they play Atalanta away. So I think this should be a good game, But Real Madrid, I think this is going to be a win for them, and I think they will top this group. Real Madrid 3, Inter 1, 3-1 to Real Madrid. Alright then, so the next game we move on to Shakhtar Donetsk versus FC Sheriff. Now, this is incredible for Sheriff. I know they're out of the Champions League, but their European journey is not over. They will be playing Europa League football, and Sheriff, they have played in the Europa League before, but they've done really well. Their last away game was 0-0, and obviously their last Champions League away game, 3-1 defeat to Inter. But last time they played Shakhtar, it was 2-0 to Sheriff. And for me, I think this game will be a bit boring, but I think someone's going to nick it. I think it's going to be Sheriff, in my opinion. I'm going to go Shakhtar 0, Sheriff 1. 1-0 to Sheriff. Alright then, so we now move on to Wednesday, and we kick it off with Bayern Munich against Barcelona. Kiev, they're out, but, Bayern, they're already through. But it is between Barcelona and Benfica to decide who will join Julian Nagelsmann and Bayern in the last 16 of the Champions League. And the favourites are going to Benfica. And for me, I think it will be very embarrassing. But that'd be actually quite cool to see Barcelona and Dortmund in the Europa League, Barca versus Dortmund final maybe this season in the Europa League, who knows. But for Barcelona, they are going to give it all they got, because it will be very embarrassing to see Barcelona play Europa League football. But Bayern, I watched the Classica and it was very good. And for me, one man who was outstanding, you know who it is, Robert Lewandowski. He is too good. That man, as soon as he touches the ball, you know what's coming. Goal. He just loves to score goals. This season, 14 matches in the Bundesliga, 16 goals and 1 assist. That is just incredible. 14 games and he's played 14 games and he's scored 16 goals already in 14 matches. That is how good the guy is, and I can't lie, I think Barcelona-wise, I think Memphis Depay is a good player, 15 matches, 8 goals, 2 assists in La Liga. But realistically, I think this is going to be a masterclass from Lewandowski. It's going to be a Bayern masterclass, and I think Bayern are going to win. Bayern 2, Barcelona 0, 2-0 to Bayern. Alright, and so now we move on to the game at the Estadio da Luz as Benfica take on Dynamo Kiev. Now Benfica, they need to win. Benfica have to win this game, because a draw is not enough for Benfica to clinch second. A win tomorrow against Dynamo Kiev, they will go through with Bayern to the last 16. Obviously, last time these two met in Benfica, in Lisbon. In Lisbon. I think they played I swear Benfica's last game was Sporting. Yeah, it was. And I know Benfica lost, but last time it was 1-0 to Benfica in 2016. Eduardo Salvaio scoring the only goal that day. And obviously last time they met was in September and it was 0-0. So obviously, but Benfica, though, they've got a 100% record against the Ukrainians. And for me, I think one man to keep an eye on, it has to be Roman Yarmolenchuk. 9 games this season in Liga Nos, 4 goals and 1 assist. Very good. I think another player to keep an eye on is Alex Grimaldo. 12 matches, 2 goals and 3 assists for a left back. Very good. Obviously, we were linked with Grimaldo a few years ago. But for me, I think Benfica are going to win. And I predicted Barca to lose, and I'm predicting Benfica to win. I'm saying 2-0 to Benfica, and that means I think Barcelona will get knocked out, and I think it will be Bayern and Benfica to go through to the next round of the Champions League. And I think Barca will be playing Europa League football, and that is embarrassing. But alright, let's now move on to the next game. A big game in Group F between Atalanta and Villarreal. Obviously, young boys, Atalanta and Villarreal. Obviously, two of them will be in Europe. Obviously, one of them will be out. Obviously, United are already through. They are already through. But this should be a very good game. Obviously, I watched Atalanta. I did watch Atalanta. I watched them against Napoli. And I can't lie, Atalanta were unbelievable. They were just unbelievable. They were very good. And obviously one man, in my opinion, who did very well was Ruslan Malinowski. He was just brilliant against Napoli. And I did watch the game in Spain where it was 2-2 back in September. And I remember watching it, and I think Villarreal, they did very well. And, Atalanta started well. They scored inside 6 minutes. But I think Villarreal, they got back into the game. And maybe I think we could see that happen again, because Atalanta, they're doing really well at the moment. Villarreal, not so great. But for me, I think it's going to be a comfortable home win for Atalanta, in my opinion. And I'm going Atalanta 3, Villarreal 0, 3-0 home win to Atalanta. Alright then, so the next game is Manchester United versus Young Boys. It's the first Champions League match for new interim manager Ralf Rangnick. Obviously United only managing to beat Crystal Palace 1-0 thanks to Fred's goal in the 77th minute. You know, United, they've got a few easy games coming up. They've got Norwich, Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves, then they got Villa, and then they got Villa in the FA Cup, and then they play Villa again a week later. So that's quite mad, isn't it? But yeah, United, I think they should win it realistically. You know, I think a Ronaldo masterclass incoming. He's going to score a hat trick, and United are going to win. United 3, Young Boys 0, 3-0 to Man United. Alright then, so we move on to a very big group. It's Group G, and we're kicking off with Salzburg against Sevilla. Only 3 points separate Lille in first and Wolfsburg in fourth. It's that close in Group G. And obviously looking at Salzburg, they've picked up 6 points at home. Only 2 points away from home though for Sevilla. And Sevilla, they are missing a few players. They're missing Lamela, they're missing El Nesri. But Salzburg are missing a few players. But Sevilla are missing big players. And you know, Lamela's a big loss for them. And I think so is El Nesri as well. But for me, I think Salzburg, you know, I think they've done very well at home this season so far in the Champions League. And I think they're going to win this one. Salzburg 2, Sevilla 0, 2-0 to Salzburg. Alright then, so we now move on to the game at the Volkswagen Arena. It's Wolfsburg in fourth against Lille in first. Now Lille, you know, they're in pole position in this group. And I did watch Lille's last Champions League game against Salzburg. And I think Lille did quite well. You know, Jonathan David did well, Bamba. But one player who did well was Renildo. Sounds like Ronaldo, but his name is Renildo. And we did very well against Salzburg. And obviously, Lille, their last away game in the Champions League. Wait, where is this game at? Yeah, it's away. Lille, their last away game in the Champions League, 2-1 away win against Sevilla. So Lille, they're doing quite well at the moment. Lille, they've got 5 points at home. Wolfsburg have only got 1 point. No, sorry. Lille have got 3 points away. Wolfsburg have got 4 points at home. This should be quite a decent game. I think it's going to be very close, but I think Sevilla will nick it. I'm going to go 1-0 to Sevilla. Alright then, so the second to last game comes from the Allianz Stadium, and Juventus face Malmo. Now obviously this is a big game for Juve, as they want to clinch top spot in the group. Obviously they're playing Malmo. Obviously their last game, Malmo in the Champions League, a 1-0 draw against Zenit. And if Malmo win somehow and Zenit lose to Chelsea, I think Malmo will be third. I'm not sure, but now because Malmo will have to score 11 goals to leapfrog Zenit. So Malmo will have to win 11-0 to go through. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it could happen. It's the Champions League. But yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. 3-0 to Juve. Alright, and so the last game comes from the Gazprom Arena in Zenit, St. Petersburg. And Zenit face Chelsea. Obviously Chelsea, you know, their last game suffering a blow away at West Ham. But obviously their last Champions League away game, Chelsea, they only managed to beat Malmo 1-0. Hakim Ziyech in the 56th minute being the only goal against Malmo. But last time they played Zenit, it was 1-0 to Chelsea. And I can't lie, Zenit, they gave Chelsea a good game. Obviously, it took Chelsea in the last 21 minutes to score against Zenit at Stamford Bridge. But I think lots has happened since then. They've been on a good form, Chelsea. And I think Chelsea will win this one. Zenit 0, Chelsea 3. 3-0 to Chelsea. Alright then, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments who is going to go through in the big games. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.